Fred here's got a very good point, hasn't he? How would you know that your vehicle could catch fire from poor workmanship if it's got a cover over it? How do you know? Well, actually, there's two things that you can look for to protect yourself against either buying a vehicle that needs a fairly costly repair, or, there's this one, or could catch fire. Okay, let's cover that. First of all, though, before we do cover those two things, let me just show you what happened. Here is the wiring that I cut out from a tractor. Now, you can see here, for some reason, it looks like there's tape around this wire here. It's a single wire in here, if I can get the camera to focus on that. It's a single wire. And you've also got a speaker wire, which was right next to it. And this was mounted in the pillar of the tractor. It had a metal surround over it, and then you have the metal cab structure, and this wiring was trapped in between the two metal parts. So you've got the body, you've got the cover, and it was trapped like that. Okay, and at some point it's rubbed through, and it's basically tried to catch itself on fire. It's got incredibly hot. And the other thing as well is that I wasn't inspecting this vehicle. I was looking at this or working on this for a mate, trying to help him out. And you can see here that it's actually trying to catch itself on fire. In fact, the actual surround had material on it, which started to catch fire. And luckily it didn't. Now, I couldn't find a fuse for this. It looks like it's just straight to the power straight to this. And which means that's even more worrying. So, question is here, the statement that Fred had is, how would you know if there is a cover on it? Well, there's two things to look for. First of all, this wiring that's done here, I don't know whether this was done at the dealer, and I would really hope not, or whether this was done by somebody afterwards. Once again, that could be somebody who is a professional electrician, or it could just be somebody who was giving it a go. Now, I'm going to say I don't think it was the dealer, because it's got a non-standard switch to it. And when it comes out of the dealer, they tend to have their standard switches that they use, and this didn't. So there's your first thing to look for as to whether the wiring has been done properly in a car, or truck or van or tractor or whatever it is does it look standard? If the answer is no, then at some point somebody's added it. And at this point, unless we have proof that's been fitted by a professional, we're going to assume that it hasn't been, because when you're buying a vehicle, you don't want to think about the best case scenario, but the worst case scenario. So that's the first thing that might make you curious as to what's happening. The next thing that's happening is the light that this goes to. It was a work light on the back, and I did show you in the video, the work light wasn't working. Now, that's the other indication that there's a problem going on. Now, you're not going to see this still, but make the assumption when you're buying a vehicle that if something's not working, it's a worst case scenario. Or in other words, something's not working. Is it like a lamp, for example, like a spotlight? Is it a bulb? Is it a globe? Now, the seller's probably going to say, yeah, it's just a globe. And if you're really interested in the vehicle, you can get caught away and go, yeah, I'll just put a globe and it'll be fine. What is it? $5, it'll be all right. Okay? How much are you going to knock off the vehicle? $5? $10? $50? For a bulb, globe? Okay, you can. But what if you need to replace the wiring? What if the wiring isn't up to standard? What if you have to find this? What if it's not behind a panel with a single bolt that comes off? What if it's under the dash? And believe me, I've been there, I've seen that. That is costly. So when something's not working, it gives you an idea that something may not have been done properly, something's broken. And if it's not standard fitment, then it could have been done by somebody who didn't know what they were doing. Put the two together, and then you can start going, okay, what's this going to cost me? And you want to go for the worst case scenario. How much is it to completely rewire this system and get it working again? That's the price that you knock off of a vehicle. So yes, Fred was right in his comment in that, yes, I might not be able to tell that that's happening unless there's some burning or there's some discoloration around a particular area that suggests something's got hot. But if you can't see that, that's the worst case scenario you want to assume when you're actually looking at a vehicle. And that's what you knock off. So if you're in South Australia and you want a vehicle in South Australia, we do inspections on all types of vehicles. Give us a call and let us know. All right, catch you later. Happy hunting.